Hello, this will be a tutorial on using Pear Assessment for writing math assignments. I am an algebra teacher and I thought it would be useful to help other teachers learn how to create dynamic assignments. So what we will be doing is we will be working on creating a test. We use the Big Ideas curriculum and there is a test in the text, but we'd like to change it so that there are different numbers, different variables. So we're going to just go ahead and create a new test from scratch. And I've got some resource materials that I'm looking at that I'm going to make some questions similar to. I'm going to just jump straight over here, zoom out a little bit so I can see a little bit from scratch. And my most common problem type is a multi-part. It has the most flexibility in it. So here is our first question, and we would like to create some dynamic terms in here. So I'm going to start with including an equation. I'm going to do n%c plus n%a x squared minus, get out of the exponent, minus n%bx. Okay, so our first question is standard form. And we're going to put a math input. Now the n%a, n%b, and n%c are going to be replaced with numbers. And so we're going to use our dynamic parameters here. I'm currently going to go with everything being positive. So C is going to be between 2 and 50. A is going to be between 1 and 6. B is going to be between 3 and 20. Generate, it's come up with 25 possibilities here. But the answer then is going to be, for our first one, ax squared ax squared minus n%bx plus n%c. Right? Then our next question was the degree. Now, if I wanted the degree to be able to change, so let's go ahead and actually alter this equation. So this is n%n. Okay. And then that means I'm going to change this answer to n%n. And we're going to come up with our first issue that is really annoying. So, but there's a quick fix around that. So if I input math, the degree, and as a number, I would normally want n%n. Now I'm going to go down here and make that variable somewhere between 2 and 5. But if I try to save this right now, you'll see that you cannot use the same dynamic variable in 2 or more input boxes. So I can't call this one n%m. I have to call it, or I can't call it n%n. I have to call it m. And then I'm going to go down here and use a formula and say that m just equals n. So that is a weird quirk that you do have to do. So now I've got a polynomial. And I've got the, I still need to do the leading coefficient. So leading coefficient. Again, insert a math input. Currently, this will accept everything that is mathematically equivalent, so I will still have to check, because theoretically, they could put the original answer in and get the answer right. But in the preview mode, in the being able to view it as a teacher, I can check those relatively quickly, and most of my students don't try to do that. There are possibilities where you can change that. So let me go ahead and go here, and I don't remember exactly where it is. Polynomial standard form. So now it has to be, and in fact, if you look at that tutorial, it says, oh, this one is correct, but this one is not correct, right, where the polynomial is out of order. So I think that should give me okay. Now this is under equations though, and I don't have an equation, I just have an expression. So we're going to test that real quick. So let's go ahead and go to our preview mode. So we've got our standard form is 6x to the 5th minus 12x plus 9, check answer. That's marked that as correct. And if I do plus a negative 9, I think that'll mark that as incorrect. Yeah, so it'd be nice if it marked that as correct. But more important thing is that it marks that one as incorrect. So you do have to have that standard form. We can do our 5 here. I don't think I've entered the answer to the last one. So let me go ahead and go into that leading coefficient. And notice, again, I can't use that A, so I'm going to use ampersand capital A. So the variables that I really made up are A, B, and C, lowercase a, b, and c. And then the other things are just based on those, right? So now I've generated my problems and my solutions, and then we've just got our last one, the number of terms. So, number of terms. And this time we're going to pick a text drop down, add new choice. So monomial, binomial, and trinomial. Okay. So, I need to mark the correct answer here. This one was a trinomial. And I think that's everything that I need. Theoretically, in Pear Assessment, I should add some metadata, especially about like what standard it applies to. I always forget this because I'm running out of time, and now I'm trying to do a tutorial on top of that, which means I have even less time because I'm recording this more than once. Now, I have got 4 questions of this type. Oh, cancel. Sure. Cancel. So I'd like to do another one of these. So I open up the previous one, and I'm just going to clone it. Now it's given me another one. I'm going to change things slightly. I'm just going to get rid of this A and this B. So now I've got a little monomial here. The correct answer for this one. So now we're just going to change this. All right. Change, that one's going to be fine. That one's going to be fine. This one's got to be monomial. This time I'm going to put a negative coefficient in there. So I'm going to let A be negative 12 to negative 2. I could have done negative 1. And then I'm going to hit generate. Now, you will notice, and this is something we should go back and check, say, when you clone a problem, say you just wanted 2 versions of almost the same thing, you might notice that they have almost the exact same variables in the preview, even if they look different for the students. So again, I'm going to clone this one. Do it one more time. Again, looking at what I've got for my goal. So I'm going to alter this one. Now I've already used M for my answer, so I can't use M. So I'm going to make this one X to the P, ampersand P. And then I'm going to do a formula where P is going to be N minus 1. And since I let N go from 2 to 5, that should match up with everything else that I've done so far. Shouldn't give me any trouble. This time I'm going to make this plus B. And I am going to make that C term negative. Oh, so now I've done this in a weird order. Okay. So this is where, like, I still want to have a constant term, but I just totally butchered the order. So it's going to be A, C, B, A, C, B, A, N, plus C to the ampersand B plus B. And again, looking at the other terms, everything else should still sort of just line up correctly. This time as a trinomial again. Preview, show answers. And the nice thing is, because I saved that setting on the previous one, it copied all the settings when I clone stuff. You'll notice this one, it's just mathematically equivalent. So theoretically, they could put in 2 plus 3 and it would count it as right. Most students aren't going to do that, so you don't have to worry about that. But for the ones where we're simplifying, we do need to adjust the evaluation settings. And it does some weird things for things that could be like to be equivalent. So I can't just pick coefficients that are both negative and positive, because that will mess up this simplified evaluation stuff, which is a little annoying, but maybe a lot annoying, actually. So now we've got 3 questions of that type. We're going to do the next one. Find the sum or difference. Again, we're going to do ampersand A Z cubed minus ampersand B Z. I don't know an exponent on that one. Minus ampersand C Z plus ampersand D Z squared. And actually, it would be nice. So let's just go ahead and put these in order. So A, B, C, and D. So C and D are the only 2 terms that I need to combine. And I do need to remember this. I should write this down. I never write them down, and that causes me a whole lot of trouble. I also want to zoom in the screen to make sure everything is actually did type the same letter everywhere. Good. So this correct answer, standard form, insert math input, and it's going to be ampersand A Z cubed minus ampersand B Z squared plus ampersand E Z. Now, over here, so A and B already matched up. E is going to be C minus D, actually, so I'm going to write minus. Well, I'm not even going to put a minus because E is going to be negative. So I'm going to just write E is C plus D. Use dynamic parameters. E is a formula. Confirm C plus D. And now everything should be positive. I already accounted for the negative sign with the subtractions that I wanted. So that's 2 to 12, 2 to 10, 2 to 12 is more what I do. 2 to 12, 2 to 12. Now you'll notice here is the order that they come up in the problem. Yeah, here's the order that they come up in the problem. We're going to generate, take a look at that one. Okay, show answer 11z cubed minus, Oh, E was not negative. I needed to put minus in there because E was positive, right? Because I made everything positive and I just added them together. I could have put it in the formula as that way, but that is actually the correct way to do it, to make my formula. Oh, oops, I just hit add and I didn't check. Let's go with edit. Preview mode. Show answer. 11z cubed minus 16z minus 5z squared. Cool. And, oh, so I did not change the thing, so it needed to be in standard form. I should do that. So I'm going to go down here again, math input, mathematical equivalence, but no, I want down here polynomial standard form. Alright, close that, and you'll notice that is there now. Okay, so I am happy with that one, but now I want one that is also sum, so I'm going to clone this one, change this to a plus. Okay, hit that generate button so it generates new numbers. Oh, I need to change the formula though, because now my E, okay, so here's where it gets a little complicated, right? So I picked, so now it's going to be D minus C, right? Which sometimes is going to be positive and sometimes is going to be negative. So instead, I'm going to define my E with my formula, so with my number range. So I'm going to say that's 3 to 17. And then my D, so my E is D minus C. So I'm going to just add my C. So my D is going to be E plus C. Oh, caps lock. E plus C. And you'll notice you don't use the ampersands here. And now my E answer is going to be positive, of which this one should be a plus, right? Show answer 2z cubed. Oh, plus, cancel. Should have changed the other thing as well. So plus preview. Now, with using dynamic parameters, it is really important to get your numbers right before you assign the test. One of the nice things about Pear Assessment is you can change questions after you've already submitted a test and change the correct answers and go back and verify. With the dynamic generated questions, you cannot go back and change anything. You can't even go back and add standards. You can't change the wording. If I misspelled difference, I would not be able to go back and fix it. It's a little annoying, but I also understand that they gave us the freedom to be able to create stuff. And there's some restrictions on that. So let's check that. Our 2z cubed plus 2z plus 8. Cool. Now, the problem that I modeled that one after had more negatives in it. So I could go back and re-identify more things to be negative. But I'm not going to worry about that now. Or maybe I will. Actually, because I just made that first term negative, so I'm going to just change my a's to be negative values. So, negative 12, negative 2. Generate. Preview. Show answer. And here in the edit mode, you can see all the answers that people get. So if I'm trying to guarantee that a number is positive or negative, so it works out nicely in the formula, like I can look at my E row. It would be nice if they expanded out where you could see all of them at once. You can't. But that is the first 5 questions of the quiz. That's taken me 20 minutes, which is a fair amount of time. clone it. Now I've got one where I've got a polynomial in the second one here. Yeah, so I'm going to change this to something linear. X minus C, B, D, F minus. So there my D is negative. Okay, and again, I should have followed, oh, let's just follow a better convention. A, B, C, D, and E, and then we'll worry about everything else later. So it's going to be nice when we simplify this. Now, our highest is a quadratic. We're getting a nice polynomial, and the only thing is the linear term, well, the linear term and the quadratic, or the constant term. So that one's going to be there, this one's going to be a B, this one's going to be a C. And looking at what I did there, so it's going to be D minus B, so my capital B is a formula, it's D minus B, and then my C term is going to be negative E, okay, C minus E. Okay, and looking at this one, we've got, ooh, I still have that negative coefficient. I have plus and negative. So if I want that to be a negative coefficient, I can actually just get rid of that term there. And now you'll notice if I preview, because it's a negative number, it's going to show that as a subtraction. I show my answer. Oh, I did not check my answer. I did not change it to be A, B, and then C. Long details. And this is why I write one day and then still try to check another day. So now, because this one is shown, I put in that simplify, but it's got that plus 0, you'll note this one messes with students, or this whole. So if I put in negative 3x squared, what was it, plus x, and that should be equivalent to the answer, right? And I should mark that as right, because, oh, oops, it would help if I used the right variable. It's still going to mark it as wrong, though. No, it did mark it as right. Why did that mark that as right? Okay, I'm happy with that. It has not done that before, I don't think. So I used to have issues where if something said like plus 0 at the end, and I put the plus 0 in my answer, even though I said simplified, it would say, oh no, it has to be the same as what's in here. Now, that may have been an issue that I have had in the past, and I don't know exactly what tracks it down, but that's fine here. Now, we've spent about 25 minutes creating 6 problems. I'm going to stop there, because I got to write the whole rest of the quiz, or the whole rest of the test, and it is a long quiz, and it takes way longer when I'm trying to narrate things and talk through stuff. Or at least I don't want to have to hear myself talking about it while I'm doing it. So I hope you found this useful. I'm going to stop this and see how it works, whether this all was recorded properly.